Hello and welcome to this new video. So this is still the Meshtastic web app I was developing last time, and I made some changes here in the board column. So now when you click the board name like this, you get some basic information, and this is common of course to the same type of boards, because if I click this one, is the same. This is the HealthTech wireless paper, so details will be different from the HealthTech v3. This has been implemented with YAML files instead of using the SQL database, because these are all static information, and we're going to see that in a moment. And these icons come from Bootstrap. I didn't design them, I just imported them, and I added the tooltip like this. So when you hover with the mouse, there's some basic information about what the icon means. Of course, the Bluetooth is self-explanatory, and also the USB, but yeah, just in case, it's possible to use these Bootstrap icons, and you can get them from the Get Bootstrap website. They are these icons here. I cannot find all the icons I want in here, so I have to use different ones. Because if you see, for example, the serial port icon, I just used the 2 arrows icon instead. But yeah, I think they are quite nice. I also wanted to add the pictures directly from Meshtastic, the device pictures. For example, these ones here, okay. However, there's a licensing problem, because if you go here to the README file, it says here that they are covered by copyright. So you have to ask permission to Meshtastic LLC to use them, despite this repository being GPL 3 licensed, if you see here. But they made an exception for these assets, so I cannot use them directly as I liked. And in case one device is not present in the list, for example this one, it just says no board data, because for the moment I just added an entry for the HealthTech v3 and another for the HealthTech wireless paper, because it takes time to find all the information. And yeah, so the device specifications are saved in a YAML file. The structure is quite linear and nested, because there are lots of things one can put. For example, of course, the name of the board, which is going to be also the key used to identify the different boards. Then a simple note, some links. For example, here there is the datasheet for the HealthTech v3, the hardware revisions, the supported frequencies, the power consumption table, but this is not at the moment. I decided not to add it to the web UI, because otherwise it's going to be crowded and it's not really useful. The screen type, here the buttons, the chipsets, and lots of other stuff. Here the ports, interfaces. Okay, there is a HealthTech wireless paper, and it works exactly the same way. All that data gets populated inside these Pydantic. You see here Pydantic, base model, base settings. Okay, it gets populated into these Pydantic classes. So if we start with the base class here, the settings class, okay, it's here. Settings boards, okay, then it goes inside here to the board. As I showed you, there can be in the configuration file there is a list of boards, so you just do like this, and then you define all the nested objects with the correct classes. And here is a small validator for the buttons. So each button must have exactly 3 characters, because usually, for example, for the HealthTech v3 there is a reset and program buttons. So one will be RST and the other PRG. So it's very simple. FastAPI loads this into memory, then it gets served via its endpoint, which I'll show you here. So if you remember, you have to go to the docs endpoint here with the port 8000, which is the default for FastAPI. Then you go down, and I added these 2 endpoints. One is to get the list of boards, and the other one to get the single board, but they work very similarly. And so if we do try it out and execute, okay, we get exactly what you saw in the YAML file. And if you also see here, you can pass the board name. Okay, you put the tryout, you put the name here. Okay, see, it returns the data, and if you put a wrong missing key, yeah, I see, it just returns board not found. This is the modal. Okay, for the front end part, when you click on the board name, this code gets executed, this JavaScript code, which is Svelte, but yeah, it's still JavaScript. It gets transformed into JavaScript. When you go here to the icons part, see, if you use the library called Sveltestrap, which is this one, okay, so it combines Bootstrap with Svelte, so you can directly use Bootstrap elements using Svelte syntax. And here is the icon object. And yeah, this one is very simple because you just pass the name of the icon you saw in here, okay. And yeah, so I used that element. I corrected the size because they were too small. Then the key and the key will be the name of the icon, which I get from an object, which are these objects. Okay, so I create different objects based on the response I get from the board endpoint, like here. So, for example, to know if the board supports USB, I run that GET request. Okay, and it goes here. Okay, fetch detail board name. Okay, this will be the main GET request you see here. Okay, see the endpoint boards, V0 boards and the board name. Then what you do is that you need to pass the sub element. So for example, here I passed the ports object, data.ports, because data is the variable, is the response variable. Okay, so then it goes here, ports. This will be the key, the icon name. This is the content of the tooltip. Then you just query the value, which means if it exists is return true, and if it doesn't exist, return false. And this same logic is applied to all these ports and interfaces, okay? And yeah, of course, the next thing would be to start implementing some, on the front end, some packet detail information, because here we don't know what's going on yet. Even though we already have some endpoints here, if you see, they are already implemented and working, but they're just limited to 3 kinds of packets, and on the front end there's nothing yet, so that needs to be done. Okay, so I think we're done, and see you next time. Bye bye.